And I think we're jumping right into pick ban.
Yeah, that we are.
Seems like it is about to start and get underway. All right, so here we go for game number 2. DWG Gaming versus GreenWings. Galio banned right out the gate.
Something tell me DAMWON aren't going to play Silas this time. I kind of hope.
Yeah, one would hope that that would not be the case. But Lucian banned away by GreenWings. Let's see if they keep it true. Tried, true, and tested. Cassiopeia, Lucian, and Ezreal for the red side. DWG banning away the Lissandra.
Yeah, they took away the Lissandra the first time around on the red side, and we were kind of questioning that. But this time around on blue, you definitely have a lot more freedom to go for some of those reach bans. And Jinair not going to pass up on the opportunity to take away Nuggery's Vlad anytime soon.
And there it goes, and Ezreal still on the table, and DWG, they have first opportunity at it. Now, they cannot ban Cassio or Ezreal and guarantee that they get one or the other, so you could take the opportunity here to ban Urgot, knowing that you would get one of the two. And in doing so, Jinair now would be in a pretty awkward situation. Now, one might say, well, okay, then they can just ban neither Ezreal or Cass and then make a trade.
I mean, they just gave Nuclear Ezreal.
Yeah.
You know, not a big fan of that choice. I'd say I would rather take Jace anytime over giving Nuclear Ezreal once again. Has a big smile on his face. Jinair looking to potentially deny the Ezreal Tahm Kent's lane at least. That means a very early Tahm Kent when there are still a lot of good picks left on the board. Yeah,
and Urgot still available. Cassiopeia also still available. Will Jinair choose either one? Because if you don't take either one, you hand
Silas.
It over. Yeah, of course, obviously. And then you hand it over to DWG Gaming, and they respond, Urgot, Cassiopeia, do you remake? Do you bug splat your client and say...
Well, you have a couple of choices, right?
Okay. Let's see it. Come on. Urgot, Cassiopeia, one time.
One time for the boys.
You got one job. Nope, that's not the champion. Nope.
Showmaker likes this one though. He earned MVP on this one multiple times as well. So maybe just picking comfort and a mid laner that is definitely up there in terms of tier list right now wouldn't be so bad. Also has a high win rate there at 69.
Urgot one time. 10 seconds. No?
No,
all right,
man.
Not today.
Silas.
Oh, good. Olaf, cool.
An LS favorite of many years, as we all know.
Amazing.
Olaf coming in. And that does mean that Jinair could just scoop up the Urgot if they do want to. Olaf himself actually has a surprisingly high win rate. Wouldn't expect that. You see it a bunch from Bono, who has been winning a bunch, so I suppose that's part of the reason.
Now, Grace.
Okay.
Yeah, he's hovering the Rise, and I mean, he picked this in game number 1. He didn't do anything on it. I mean, we saw his damage number at the very end. Also, questionable Rise ultimate into the Baron at the very end there.
Yeah.
Not making use of his ultimate up in top when they had the Baron to make a Giga Wave in mid. And not really quite sure what the Rise is going to accomplish here now in game number 2.
Maybe he just only feels comfortable playing Aftershock Rise into the LeBlanc. Could just be like a champion pool thing. Maybe it's not ideal for Grace, but amongst the many problems that Jinair have been having, his picking Rise, if he's comfortable on it, you know, I guess so. And maybe it's not the absolute best choice on paper, objectively, but either way, is going to pick that one up as Soraka and Ashe going to be taken off the table.
I look at Ashe and I ask why be afraid of that when you have the CC invulnerability inside of the Olaf, the LeBlanc that can just press W and dodge, Ezreal, Arcane Shift. I'm not quite following the logic here, especially when your support still has yet to be picked and there's many supports that can answer Ashe. Now Victor being taken away though. I do agree with that ban. I think that that's quite nice. You don't want to have a repeat of a very similar team comp for Jin Air, where you just end up getting stalled to death.
Well, Jin Air is going to take it a step further and pick up Sivir. They don't care about your Ashe bans, your Victor bans. They're still going to want to take this late with that Sivir pickup. As Ashe, Tahm Kench has been run to success by Life, but you are right, their composition could play very well into it. Maybe even just bait Jin Air into picking something like that, but instead, they are going to have to go up against the Sivir. As DWG with their last couple of picks. Alistar going to be one of them.
Yep. Alistar locked in now. And I mean, this DWG Gaming team composition is so aggressive, and they're going to need another frontliner, and I mean, Urgot has made it this far along. What?
Was that champion deleted for you after the last couple of patches, LS? Well, it's not deleted for your man Nuguri in the top lane, as he's going to be hopping onto that one. We were expecting a lot more jungle Aatrox, but I doubt we'll be seeing top Olaf anytime soon. You okay over there?
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
Hey, they finally got to Urgot at least. That's something.
They finally found Urgot as the last pick. I'm so sorry. The order in which the draft was constructed is just so bizarre and peculiar. So for those of you that don't know, Aatrox is completely gutted. This guy he can't do anything in the later stages. I mean, he still does deal the same amount of damage. The problem is that even at 45% CDR, the way that his new E is, he still can't combo the same way that he used to before. And so now, unless you hit the point-blank Q and chain it with the W, you can't get the same combo sequence for a second and third Q. And in the later stages, he doesn't have any sustain, even if he does end up getting Death's Dance, because he can no longer heal off of minions, he can only heal off of champions. So what was already a bad matchup in top lane against the Urgot is now even worse, and it's very easy for Urgot to just plow that lane over.
Yeah. So you're saying that DWG have some issues with the pick ban phase, as I mean, their play has been pretty decent across the board for a while, but still not finding that ultimate success here in the LCK. They still sit on the east side of the standings, if you have it there, sitting at 6th place currently. We got our AR working again,
yeah, we finally have our AR. They finally managed to piece it together. I think that's why the game went as long as it did. On the flip side, for Jin Air, GreenWings, Urgot, Lee Sin, Ryze, Sivir, and Tahm Kench. So this team comp, it wants to fight, obviously, in the later stages, but it's no stranger to 2 items. They have the Tahm Kench to answer split pushes later on in the game. They have Ryze and Tahm, which opens up 1-3-1 possibilities. Even though they are on the red team, normally red team has a much more difficult time doing a 1-3-1 split push due to the blue team's proximity to the endgame neutral objective, which is Baron. So typically 1-3-1s are a little bit more difficult to pull off.
Yeah, the fans still here, as you were in the midst of a pretty long-winded point there.
Yeah.
I hope you got to the end of that one.
Just waiting for the light cue, and, you know, we didn't quite get that, but nonetheless, I love this. That's my favorite taunt in the game.
I mean, yes, obviously. The cowbell is the best one.
That's the best champion in the game. He's strutting his stuff in River right now.
Thomas.
Pick yourself up a Coin Emperor Tahm Kench skin. You haven't already.
Hashtag sellout.
There you look at him. How majestic. You ever seen a catfish walk out of water?
I have now.
Yeah, you have. He's going back in to his humble abode.
Yeah.
All right, well. Do you think that's seaweed, actually? We call it a river brush, but what if it's just seaweed?
Oh. But it's the same brush in the lanes. So.
Could be
above land seaweed. I mean, you never know. Maybe it's very humid on Summoner's Rift.
We have no idea about Runeterra.
We have a lot of champions that aren't fully clothed, so I suppose it's not very cold when you think about it that way.
It isn't the Howling Abyss, that's for sure.
That's true, yeah.
It is somewhere else.
It's much colder there.
Yeah, get your casting together, bro. Come on. Let's talk about the important things here. All right, now talking about awesome skins, I do think that that is the Prestige Aatrox. So.
You think so, or you know so?
You know, I don't think I've ever seen it in game because the champion doesn't get picked anymore. So.
That's true.
And I believe that it's like $100, right? Something.
All those skins are quite expensive.
They're quite
I don't know
expensive,
exactly
right?
how much.
I don't know exactly how much the Aatrox skin is, but.
Oh my God! You said Aatrox.
What?
I think that's my first time. That's a momentous occasion. Wow.
Be here all night.
I feel somewhat honored. It's like a new feeling for me.
Well, so far in this game, don't expect too much to happen. However, Malrang is off to a much better start, at least this time around, than in the previous game, although his route is still so peculiar. When you think about it in your Lee Sin, you do the red into the Wraiths, and then you capture the right side Scuttle Crab, but Olaf doesn't have an obligation to gank early on, because it's really difficult to set up any sort of lane pressure outside of maybe mid lane, but then the Scuttle Crab's not really doing anything. You're going to transition into a blue side clear and then wrap up into your golems, but you're delaying the rubber band respawn on them. Doesn't really make all that much sense. And so Olaf, I mean, Punch, yet again in this game, gets ahead with another small micro advantage, doing the same thing.
Yeah. Feels pretty good for him. Punch, obviously, stellar Lee Sin game, comes out here with Olaf twice in a row. As you mentioned, the early game, he did his job. He got really fed. Wasn't really able to get too many effective ganks, but was present in the early and mid game, unfortunately, as the game moved along. He couldn't really do much to accelerate the game and get us on our way. Trying to get that spell shield, and will they go for the engage? They want Tom Kench here, as in comes Punch, but heal already blown on Nova, means that no gank will happen.
This isn't the end of the world for him. The Scuttle Crab still has some ways to go before it spawns on the left-hand side of the map, and that's where he's pathing because his rubber band Agatha.
Oh, hey, here we go. Punch is back. There's the stun. First blood. Goes over to the side of DWG Gaming. Nice setup play there by Hoyt.
Yeah, and this is magnificent pressure relief. They're even going to have Punch try to help out with the wave clear. And in the meanwhile, this means that Malrang gets to go over and steal the left side Gromp and also leave a small wolf. So Malrang has the opportunity to create Bambi. And just look at this. I mean, Hoyt, he was looking for some action, and Nova holding his flash until next year. And so DWG Gaming, they're able to pick up that kill. Now we're playing Ring Around the Rosie.
It's not even like we're at the end of 2019 or anything. We just started.
Yep.
It's a long way away, that one, as Nuguri gets away from the gank. Very nicely done up in the top side as Balrog was trying to strike back on a different lane, but didn't quite happen.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what his pathing just was, because all of the left side camps and the Scuttle Crab are up, and he's managing to lose his Wraiths.
Nova's angry. Tom's angry. Here he is.
He's
as
quite frustrated.
Well, could get okay.
No, he can't combo there. Showmaker can't follow up, so
yeah,
it'd be a little unfortunate. Look at how he waddles.
He's got some pretty thick legs. I never really noticed that.
He is quite thick.
It's good to note, for sure.
And despite being an awful matchup, you got to give credit to Nuguri. He's actually up in the lane quite a considerable amount at only 6 minutes here. Picks up the Warhammer for himself, and you know, coming off these buys, they're definitely advantageous to Nuguri on that Aatrox up in top lane. As Punch now going to proceed to path into the right-hand side, and Infernal Drake is alive and well. And if Malrang fails to do anything in the next minute or so while Olaf's in the right-hand side jungle, depending on what bottom lane priority looks like in mid lane, if he transitions to capture his red, it could open up a potential timing to capture the Infernal for DWG Gaming.
We're going to be looking for that one here as Grace just doing a good job pushing in that mid wave as far as possible.
Oh.
Punch level 6 here.
Okay.
Oh, already a ton of damage onto Balrog as he flashes away, but this Olaf isn't done just yet. He's trying to go in there. Has to get back and help out Showmaker as the damage is there with the Mimic Chains. Another axe is going to land, but a very nice trade goes the way of DAMWON overall.
And I think actually given this, you could have the Alistar and the Olaf do the Infernal Drake relatively easily, but it looks like actually Olaf is just going to solo it. He is extremely healthy.
Yeah.
And so even though he'll get a little bit low doing this, you know that you don't have to be afraid because Grace is locked up in mid lane. You know that you just sent Malrong to the left-hand side of the map. Everyone knows that Malrong's on the left-hand side of the map. You're not going to get a gank in top lane. So at this point after this, Olaf, he just wants to recall. He probably can squeeze in a golem capture, and the reason that I say this is because Ryze needs to recall, and so even if you recall immediately into handing off the blue, LeBlanc wants to recall. We're having a trade down in bottom lane, but nothing too exciting though.
It was a nice knock-up, got both of them. Was flashy, and you're exactly right. He goes down to his Krugs, down on the bottom side of the map, and Punch able to get them up.
Yeah, and the reason that you can do this is because if you recall right away after the dragon and path to the blue, LeBlanc wants to recall into Lost Chapter, and because she doesn't have teleport, if you go for the blue handoff and stay inside of the lane, then you end up being at an item deficit after Grace comes off of his teleport. And so that's the reason that he wraps down into the golems, consumes them, LeBlanc comes back into mid lane to get mid priority, then secure the blue buff handoff, you're a left-hand side priority as Urgot's lane's coming into your top laner, and everything's good.
It was a bit of a rap god moment. I was enjoying that.
Well,
didn't really catch all of it, but sounded good.
What they say about some musicians nowadays, like, you don't really know the lyrics.
Unfortunately, my tiny play-by-play brain can't quite handle all that information, but I'll get back to you after watching the VOD. As Nuclear trying to deny this back up in the bottom lane.
And, I mean, we're going to enter into a lull state now until the Rift Herald ends up spawning, but with the way that mid lane state is going to be... Now, fortunately, though, Grace should get the blue buff handoff at roughly the same amount of time. Olaf's going to look for some pressure up in top lane. They do have the Aatrox ultimate. Linderong, you can see, backing up just a little bit. I think the recall's fake. I can't imagine that it's genuine. Yeah.
Fake recall confirmed. What will be the news of the Aatrox? This will be interesting. I don't think it's the best test because Nuguri definitely one of our better top laners.
Urgot's going to die in a sec.
Yeah, okay.
All right, see you later.
Here we go. Linderong in a lot of trouble. Not going to be able to flash away from that one as the Aatrox ult does come in. Can we have a Rune Prison here onto Nuguri? Is not quite able to get that damage as they're even threatening killing Grace here. They're going to get in there and punch. Able to take him out as Grace is going to fail the 1v3.
Yeah, and now Malrong is coming up to top lane to guarantee that they can't try to convert this into plate capture. And we'll take another quick replay of that, but the problem is that there's minions underneath the turret, so Aatrox, we talked about how one of the ways that his combo is hindered is that he has to hit a melee range Q without using his E, his Umbral Dash, to set up the combo sequence. So he's able to do that on Linderong with his ultimate and thus neglect the turret. And just take a look at Nuguri here. Hits the Q, Comet lands, next Q lands, W as well, and with the priority that was created everywhere on the left-hand side of the map, Grace comes up to make yet another donation for the DAMWON gaming team.
How generous.
Amazing. I think I know what the G in Jin Air stands for now.
What's that?
Grace.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's good.
That wasn't good at all. I don't know where I was going with that.
Thank you. I thought it was gold, but even that was good.
That's even better.
Okay, well, stopwatch comes in. Silver Ultimate says no to the gank in the bottom side. Nova just being a punching bag down here in the bottom lane so far. Definitely unfortunate for him. As okay, Showmaker once again just always threatening on this LeBlanc. He plays a very scary, aggressive style on that champion. Rough to go against. And Malrong not having the most fun in this game either.
And Nuguri almost actually has his Black Cleaver, I think. His magical boots are also already here for him. And Linderong not having the best of games. The call is still ways away from being completed. And this isn't what you want to have happening as Urgot in this matchup. When you just look across the board, in DAMWON, this is a very different show from game number 1.
It definitely is. They look a lot cleaner as it's just all in the side of DAMWON Gaming so far in this game. It was a nice gank to start things off on the bottom side and then 2 kills on the top side. Probably should just be 2-0, but friendly donation from our friend here on Jin Air helped out to make it 3-0.
Well, almost a 3K gold lead. Plates are still alive for a minute and a half. Very surprised not to see a Herald priority. Rather, they're going for a Cloud Drake.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, the Cloud Drake is going to help out for Olaf and Aatrox, especially with that E nerf you were mentioning. But at the end of the day, getting the extra gold from the Rift Herald early, probably better every time. But we get to see how the different teams like to prioritize these objectives every time here in the LCK.
And now Malrang in bottom lane close proximity maybe wants to take an Abyssal Voyage behind Nuclear and Hoyt, but it's a very difficult bottom lane combo to make a gank work on. The Arcane Shift plus the Flash in addition to Alistar's ultimate. So difficult to actually get a kill there, so not totally sure what they're trying to set up, and in doing so, Punch continues to just get advantages and priority on the sides of the map that actually matter.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is Ezreal, and it's LeBlanc, so Malrang not really having many lanes to gank. He tried for the top lane, and that was his one lane, essentially, early on, but it was a failed gank as Nuguri was able to get away without going down. Not even sure if he burned his flash on that one, as now Grace going to be chained down. Here's Hoyt as well. Whoa. Has to flash that one, and even Abyssal Voyage is used to try to save his life. Not needed in the end, but lots of stuff burned there by Grace and team.
Well, now the Rift Herald is going to be picked up by Punch. And they can't use it to capture any of the plates. It's a little bit delayed. Mountain Dragon coming up in just under 3.5 minutes, but maybe looking like they wanted to use that Rift Herald in mid lane. Instead, I think that they're just going to bring it top, and yeah, okay.
Here we go again. The dive begins.
Yep.
Linderong in so much trouble. Does have a stopwatch, but okay, whoa. Nice flash away from that one. It's going to be pulled on in, but it is denied in the end, as they do juggle the turret aggro as well and pick up even yet another kill.
I actually couldn't have. I thought that the Aatrox passive was going to fade away right at the very end.
It was close.
There's a really specific timing in the Urgot Aatrox matchup when you land the ultimate and his passive's just about to fade during the pull, and you end up getting the kill and the execute. But so far, this game is getting blown wide open in top lane at least. Meanwhile, though, Jin Air, they do have a saving grace. I'm not talking about mid lane, but bottom lane did chip away at that turret, and the Sivir is doing quite well in this game. We just take another quick look at this, and I mean, this is a very easy gank to make happen. And just take a look at Nuguri, and his Bloodwell almost was completely full, but not quite, as he got pulled in. Wouldn't matter, Urgot went down anyway. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, see Malrang trying to make something happen. Ooh. But again, it's a hard lane to try to gank.
So hard. I mean, immediately Nuclear just able to flash away from that one. Not bothered at all by the Lee Sin, and Hoyt gets in there and even threatens a kill onto the Lee Sin after the gank, which just makes you want to go down to the bottom lane even less. As you mentioned the game being blown wide open, they just get the top lane turret without the Rift Herald. They still have that. They might even look to do that in the mid lane, which would be even better. A pretty fantastic CS lead in the top lane based on all the bullying that's happening up to Linderong, and even in the mid lane too, up 20 CS after Grace went to the top lane and donated his life. Their only saving grace is Root that has had some pressure in the bottom lane to get a small CS advantage.
Yeah. And the other thing is that in the later stage team fights, they're going to be down summoners to a degree. They have 3 teleports available. And now a Rift Herald being summoned in mid lane. They should be able to raise this mid-tier 1 turret almost certainly, and then convert this pressure into a Mountain Drake capture in 45 seconds.
Look, make it look super easy, as even threatening the life of Nova there. Not going to go for the kill, of course. Just saying, hello, I'm LeBlanc. As they take out another one, and they're even going to get a second charge onto the tier 2. So this is kind of what we expected from this series. Game 1 was, you know, it was an experience, but not the DWG that we were expecting.
Definitely not, indeed. And this Aatrox pick, I criticized it inside of the pick ban, but Nuguri has been doing fantastic on it so far this game as the CS deficit continues to widen. I don't know when the last time I saw a Flame Horizon was, but maybe we'll end up getting to see it this game.
We saw it earlier this week. I forget exactly which game that was, but it was just a Khan versus Rascal, maybe. Not 100% sure. Yeah, the Fiora versus Silas. We're getting like the secret info in my ear right now. As, okay, Nova, you're in a bit of trouble, but you are Thomas Kent, so actually you're not. Just baiting very, very well, as Nuguri even trying to get frisky in the back line. Is going to be forced to blow his ultimate. TP coming in. And in the end of the day, they're not actually able to get Nuguri down. Even with Linderon coming back in. Nice rotation by DWG to save him there.
And even though Linderon was there, not going to be able to land his ultimate and then try to cast it on the running away Aatrox. And some poke being dished out, and this should be actually a relatively easy mountain capture as the ping goes down on it from Punch. Teleport now down in bottom lane to get priority. And Black Cleaver, Yumu's Ghostblade completed already now for Nuguri.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's got near the most CS in the game. Actually, that goes to Root on the Sivir, quietly doing that, but has reached 200 at 19 minutes and is even going to get more gold in the bottom side as he takes out that tier 1. So we have a pretty thick Aatrox in this game. For game number 2 here for Nuguri.
And now we enter the lull state again, Brendan. You ready for this? Sit back.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's take it. Here we go. All right. 4.5 minutes. Here we go.
Is this your favorite state, the lull state? You've been mentioning it a lot. No, there's no Zoe in this game, unless.
No, there's no Zoe. You know when the airplane shuts off its lights? And
yeah,
it's like everyone knows that it's time to sleep?
Yeah.
That's what it is right now, Brendan.
It's like the signal.
Please be quiet. ASMR casting now only, okay?
All right, I'll leave that to you.
Well, look at that. Look at the way that she struts. Do you think that she did track in high school? What about
you remember last year some of the patches we had with Sivir where
tell me about it.
She had some struggles with the running.
What about the way that... Oh, is that a Sagat skin for Lee Sin? That kind of looks like Sagat.
I guess so.
Now people are going to criticize me that it's Sagat or something.
I don't...
Do you know which one it is? I think
Sagat.
it's Sagat, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's also a Aatrox. All right.
No. Like, the amount that you're right on names stops right there. Like, actually, the only name I've heard you pronounce right.
All right. Slow down there,
Wait, what's my name again?
Brian Dan.
BR to the end on? That's something I hear all the time, unfortunately.
Well,
5,000 gold ahead. DWG Gaming having a real fun one in this as Trinity Force is even picked up here for the Ezreal. He's trying to be a big boy carry. Nuclear really trying to take back his spot. And I'm sure Showmaker is happy about that one.
I need something to talk about. I feel like I'm... You know what, actually, this just reminds me of is I just saw Happy Death Day 2.
Why would you ever voluntarily watch that movie?
They actually expanded on the universe, I think, relatively okay. But it's about... You know what it is, right?
I wouldn't know. I didn't see the first one.
Well, it's Groundhog Day for dying. So every day you wake up and the day is just ever so slightly different, but for the most part it's the same day.
Okay.
So if you didn't know what it's like, now you do.
Okay. Thank you for that. As Nuggery, oh boy, Root. Not really in range here to do much. Now he has no health. Showmaker going for it, but the Devour is there. Nice job by Nova. Is going to be on point with that one. No kills come in because Thomas is still a champion.
Yeah, that's not allowed. And also, the Tier 2 turrets have yet to fall. We're not quite there yet.
Okay.
But the second Infernal is coming. Okay.
I mean, that's pretty hype, right?
Yeah, it is.
Second Infernal, Showmaker having some fun.
Yeah.
With all of those damages.
All right. Any day. You know what? I'll tell you some good news. Urgot's gone next patch. How do you feel about that?
I'm actually ecstatic about that.
Are you enthralled?
I'm super happy. As casters, you know. I mean, you know, you're pretty new to this whole
yeah,
this whole casting thing, aren't you, Ellis? But last year was just like, okay. I suppose it did come towards the end. Nice try towards a steal there.
Did he spell shield too? It's actually pretty sick.
Yeah, he did.
I suppose he had a ward. He saw it coming. It's not as impressive.
I guess so.
You know, I was impressed until I found out that he had, you know, he could see it coming.
Yeah.
You know? It's like watching a magician, but they mess up on camera.
Oh, no.
That's terrible.
That always makes me feel really awkward. I hate when that happens, when, like, people mess up on stage.
You know what I like
Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I like going on to... I'm the type of person... We're not talking about this. I'm the type of person who likes to go on YouTube and watch magicians perform their act.
Yeah.
And I use the YouTube player to slow it down to a quarter speed.
Oh, yeah?
And I just point out everything. I'm like, well, that's obviously what he did.
But you know there are some magicians
Nancy.
that are so clean that you actually can't see it when you get that
Yeah,
slow.
actually, what's his name? Shim Lim or something?
I don't know.
The guy's insane.
Yeah?
Oh, he's on another planet.
I recently watched this guy who is actually blind. There's this blind man, right? And he...
Okay. Go on.
He's actually really good at card magic tricks.
All right.
He, like, you can cut the deck and he knows exactly how many cards are in the one half.
Can he tell you what card you picked?
If he knows what card it is, then yes. Like, you know, he's blind.
I mean, you can just lie to him. You want a sick joke? Like,
I mean,
he gets the card right, and you're so frustrated because you just can't believe it. You're like, no, that's not my card. Oh man, he retires and everything.
I forget who it was. Someone was telling me about what's that show by Penn and Teller? They made their own like magic show. It's like where they try to get magicians in that impress you.
Yeah.
I don't,
Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
Fool Us or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And they were telling me about some incredible magic stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't go on YouTube too much. I play a lot of games.
All right. What kind of games do you play lately, Brendan?
Played a lot of, you know, my favorite game, League of Legends.
Absolutely. Anything else?
Actually, I don't play any other games. Oh, what? Hold the phone.
That was really... There is no phone.
I mean, I have my phone on my desk. His build is just like... He's not scared of anything that Generic's going to throw at him. He just goes... Trinity Force, Manamune, and Archangels. He's like, well, I'm going to do 5 bajillion damage in this game. As he's really trying to get Riot to put down the banhammer.
And nerf Ezreal.
The nerf bat.
And, well, Ezreal is looking quite well positioned to keep scaling forward. Only on the tier 1 boot still. Nothing really too exciting until that third Mountain Drake comes up. Death Dance now completed for Aatrox. And the game continues. So, what other games you been playing, Brendan?
I told you, I only play one game. It's called League of Legends.
All right.
I wouldn't play any other games that have the name Legend or anything like that.
You were telling me about something before the cast.
No, I wasn't.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Apex something?
Are you talking about that Overwatch game? We had Apex here in Korea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right.
Really bringing back the past, huh?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well.
It hurts. All right, well. Oh, God. Getting back to the game.
Yeah, we do have a game here. It is double Infernal and 8,000 gold ahead for DAMWON, they don't even need Baron at this point, as Jin Air's out of position. They're going to just chunk down the turret and say thank you very much. We will take that and leave.
And Showmaker now looking like he's actually, I was about to say she because LeBlanc. He's going to raise the top tier 2. Well, misses that chain.
He's getting in there. Oh! Okay, nice job.
Ends up picking it up.
A+.
I feel like every time I watch Jin or GreenWings play, I just can't help but think Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Except there's no Gandalf. Gandalf's never coming over the mountain for Jin.
Oh.
There's like a cutscene, he's still in bed, he's asleep. Oh man, they've been waiting for 4 years.
Yeah. It's just the destruction.
Oh, jeez.
Well, we do have Sivir sitting with 3 items now and a red buff. And he does have some pretty insane CS per 10, CS per minute numbers. As we do go along here, 346 now at 28.5 minutes. But to be honest, I mean, this just looks like so many other of the other Jin Air games that we've seen where they get behind and it's just like, they don't really know how to come back from here as Root. Uh-oh, Nova could be in a lot of trouble. Nice flash from him. Gotta hand it to Nova. He's been trying his heart out this entire series to carry his team. But
it's definitely gonna be
not much he can do.
Yeah, the mid inhibitor turret now going down. Another mountain. Oh no!
He's already out of the mountain, don't worry.
Well,
he was going for Nova, yeah.
That would have been an insane snipe if he did end up landing that. I think that's actually what he was going for.
Yeah, definitely. You'd have to imagine. Well, how does double Infernal, double Mountain sound?
Sounds pretty good. They even have the icing, the Cloud Drake. The icing on the cake. It's like a strawberry chocolate mix. Have you ever had that combo?
Yeah.
Have you?
Strawberry chocolate? Yeah, of course.
Strawberry chocolate and a cake?
It's definitely a thing. So, what is going on?
What?
Okay. Nice job to get the Ezreal, though, at least by Linderong. I'm just not sure it matters here, as Grace also going to disappear. It is utter devastation on the Rift right now for Jin Air, as down will go the last member. They get the clean ace. The TP comes in. And it looks like DAMWON has finally put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and this is looking very reminiscent from game number 1, where there's all this build-up, and then it just ends in one big team fight. And DAMWON Gaming, I'm pretty sure they just raised the Nexus turrets. Yeah, no one's coming. Like I was saying, Gandalf's still asleep. So,
let's get the angle here.
Yeah. I like this.
The Observer was getting bored. He's like, I'm gonna pop off right now.
Look at the aesthetics on that. Look at
ooh, I like that.
Look at the back of that Nexus.
Our Observer's going crazy.
That guy is having a lot of fun.
GG, DWG Gaming take the 2-0.